Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and my God, we are living in weird times because, quite frankly, the world is topsy-turvy when it comes to the current pandemic situation and how it is impacting businesses. This is one of those things that no one knows what to do. We are in absolutely unprecedented times, and even though I do hate the word unprecedented being overused, it is a very true statement to make right now. So when we talk about unprecedented nature and we talk about what's going on with big business, the biggest news of the day is that Bob Iger actually is slashing his salary, giving up his salary, I should say, while other senior Disney executives agree to take pay cuts. This is big news. It really is. And I'm going to tell you guys why. So here, check this out. According to Variety, it says Disney has joined a list of companies implementing sizable pay cuts for senior executives amid the upheaval caused by the current pandemic. Iger, who shifted from chairman CEO to executive chairman last month, has opted to forego his salary for the year. Bob Chapek, who is succeeding Iger, has taken a 50% pay cut. Disney outlined the changes in a memo sent to staffers Monday morning. And this is big because, for one, Iger is not that big of a deal. You kind of understand Iger. Iger has the personal, I think, like the highest amount of personal share of individual shares of anyone at Disney. And so he's fine. The dude made like 40 some million last year, I think. I think he's good. I think he's going to be okay for a few months. I'm not worried about Iger having to go on unemployment, although part of me wouldn't necessarily be surprised if I found out that he did or any of the other senior VP staff at Disney did. But the reason why they're doing this, obviously, is because they need to find a way to offset some of the losses that they are experiencing right now. This is just absolutely true. So it goes on to say here that the cuts call for a 20% reduction in salary for all VP executives starting April 5th. Senior VPs will see a 25% cut, while executive VPs and others will see a 30% cut. The move comes as Disney is facing unexpected economic shock amid the shutdowns and aggressive social distancing measures that force the shutdown of Disney theme parks and resort operations in the United States and beyond. Disney has committed to continuing paying its hourly parks employees through at least April 18th. And that is honestly the best news about all this, that the people who are out of work, who work at the resorts and work at the theme parks, they are the ones that are clearly in the process of getting paid, and that is what it should be. Now, Chapek does note here that the acceleration of the COVID outbreak has changed the economic picture of the company dramatically in a matter of weeks, saying, in a matter of weeks, we've experienced widespread disruption across our company, with our domestic parks and hotels closed indefinitely, our cruise lines suspended, our film and TV productions halted, and theatrical distribution delayed, both domestically and internationally, and our retail stores shut down. He says, while I am confident we will get through this challenging period together and emerge even stronger, we must take necessary steps to manage the short and long-term financial impact to our company. Now, it does go up here to say that Iger's annual compensation has become a source of criticism for Disney at times, given the high value of Disney shares that he has collected over his long tenure at the company and the larger focus among some activists on CEO pay. In 2019, Iger's compensation totaled $48 million. Wow, I was off a little bit there, wasn't I? Largely in stock and bonuses tied to the company's strong performance. So think about that. What you've got is Bob Iger, right? Bob Iger, who is out there right now making $48 million a year in stocks and bonuses and pay, taking zero. Now, that doesn't mean he's not going to make any money off of interest from the stocks. He's not taking a salary. So it's not like he's going out. It's not like he's not making any cash. But it's still a big move. It's still actually, in my mind, a good move. It's a very good move. And the reason why is because it does show faith in the company. Now, the big reason why this is so massive is because it is going to make a lot of people speculate, right? It's going to make a lot of people say, oh, we're going to get Black Widow on video on demand because Disney's going to need the money real bad, and that's going to be the way to do it. Look, you're going to see Mulan on VOD before you see Black Widow on VOD, okay? Like, Mulan was made for the Chinese audience. They don't make as much money out of China, while they still make a lot of money out of China overall. They don't make as much as they would in the domestic marketplace. And Black Widow is going to do very well here domestically, with long-range opening weekend estimations putting it at anywhere between 90 to 130 million. And if they hold off on Black Widow to be the first movie coming to theaters when the shutdown officially ends, or when it's deemed safe enough to go back to the theaters, People will in fact flock, and it will be massive. So holding off on Black Widow at this point is absolutely the best course of action. But really what this is this is a move to appease the shareholders, because there's been all those talks about Apple stepping in and purchasing stocks away from Disney as a way to do a potential buyout. I know Grace Randolph talked about this the other day. Again, I think she's overall, she's got an idea there, but there's so much else that would have to happen for it to actually work that, quite frankly, it would never actually happen. Now, let's talk about why it would never actually happen. So for one, Apple, which does have more cash on hand than Disney, that is true, could come on in and make that particular play to get Disney stocks for essentially a takeover. But right now, Apple's facing its own problems because of this whole situation. They are potentially looking at delaying the release of the new iPhone, which has their shareholders actually not feeling pretty good about the situation as a whole, and they need to make sure that those guys are looked after first. While Disney is, yes, in a vulnerable position financially because of the recent Fox acquisition, as well as everything else going on, it does appear that there could be an attempt by some company to step on up and make the hit and make that play. No, look at it from an optics perspective. We're in the midst of a global pandemic. We're in the midst of something that is fundamentally destroying everyone's lives, right? And I say destroying because it's destroying our way of life. It's destroying normalcy. It's destroying all of those things, right? It's everything that we know from that particular front. That's what's happening. And so as a result of all that, our normal is gone. We'll be getting a new normal here pretty soon, but the normal that we're used to is absolutely gone. So the optics of Apple coming in and buying Disney right now, kind of on like a fire sale during this global pandemic, would be terrible. It would be absolutely terrible. Disney files wouldn't stand for it. I don't know if the shareholders would, because they might take their money and then just be willing to go. That is something, but there would be massive pushback from, I think, practically everybody, because it would be looked at as this highly unethical, highly immoral takeover during a global pandemic. Apple doesn't want that negative headlines. They don't want that. They've already been losing the phone war with Samsung. They have been. Android has been kicking their ass now for a couple years. The iPhone is no longer as popular as it once was. That is absolutely true. But the thing to consider is ultimately that we are in a situation where, if you don't, if they make bad plays like this, the media and everyone's just going to tear them asunder. That's just the truth of it. So I hate to break it to you, anyone out there who thinks Apple's going to come on in and take over, or that Disney's going to drop Black Widow on VOD as a way to earn money in a situation like this. Because the other thing you have to consider too is they have insurance. They have insurance in all these situations. They have insurance in all of this stuff that's going to make it so they ultimately are going to be protected. Disney is fine. They are just doing public changes right now to kind of show that they have things under control in order to appease their shareholders, which is at this point more important than I think anything else. But there's also the FTC that would have to step on in and work on, they'd have to approve that type of takeover. There'd be a lot of things going on. Apple's not going to make the bid for it. It makes no sense in the world. Apple would be better off purchasing Sony, which feels like more up their alley in regards to, let's say, trying to get content on Apple TV Plus than anything else. So yeah, but Iger and Chapek and everyone taking pay cuts and giving up their salary in order to benefit the company, I do think is a good move. I am curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. Let me know down in the comments below. Again, I'm always kind of curious. And listen, I know you're going to be hearing this a lot over the course of the next couple of months from a lot of people. But as I've said before, if you do want to support the channel, the best way to do that probably is to like, subscribe, share it around, or consider becoming a patron for just $1 a month. It does help out. If we can get enough people together through small dollar donations, that can really help out. Like I said yesterday, revenue is down about 60%. I wasn't making much on that as it is, so it's not like I took it, it's not like it's someone tried saying, oh no, you've lost, I don't feel bad that you can still do this full time. No, I have another job that's also taking a hit, which is I deliver food. So that's why I've been bringing it up a little bit more. And I hate to do it without, I really don't, not a big fan, but that's just kind of where we find ourselves. You might hear my kids crying in the background. I apologize, but that is again why I'm seeking $1 per month. Anyway, I will talk to you guys all later. Have yourself a great day. Thank you for watching, and peace out.